This is Mike Shore, and this is a tutorial on installing WordPress on your server space for Web 250. First thing you need to do is go to the WordPress.org, notice that's .org and not the .com website, and download the latest version of WordPress, which at this time is 3.6.1. After you download the file and open it up in a decompression utility like WinRAR or WinZip or whatever is used within the Mac community, you'll get to this WordPress directory. What we're going to need to do is copy this whole directory structure over to our website. But before we do that, notice I've cleaned out my website just to make this a clean demonstration. I'm going to go ahead and right-click and select New Folder and then WP. Okay, because I'm going to create a WordPress subdirectory within my website so I don't lose any other files I might have. Then I'm simply going to select all the files in this compressed file and drag and drop into the WP directory. Once that's done, then I'm going to copy this up to my remote server, which I've already configured. Again, this is the same configuration that you should have been using for the first 4 weeks of the class. Also, if you want to use a FTP client, that's perfectly okay too. Okay, so now I've got a set of files in both locations, and the very next thing I need to do is go ahead and go to my admin directory, and within that there should be an install file, install.php. At any point along the way, you feel free to look at the code that's in these files. They're rather sophisticated PHP files, written very well, because there's a lot of eyeballs looking at them. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click, install PHP, preview in browser, and then I'm going to choose whichever. So once I've found the install.php file, I'm going to right-click and then do a preview in browser and select my browser. And then once I go to this page, I should see this message. There doesn't seem to be a WP config PHP file. By doing this without modifying any of our files, it gives me a chance to let the WordPress install files to actually do things for me. So before you proceed, you should have the database information I posted in Lesson 5 before proceeding. So I'm going to tell it to create a configuration file for me, and then I'm going to need this information: my database name, username, password, and host. And we'll just leave the table prefix the default in our case. So I'm going to do let's go, and my database name is WP _, and again it's the first 6 letters of your last name. I'm going to build this using my fictitious student name, John Q. Public. So my database name is going to be WP _ PUBLIC. My username is going to be my standard login name for any of our server information. So in this case, that's JQ Public. And John's password, JOPUB. Leave the localhost as is, as well as the table prefix. Once I do this and click the submit, so once I have all that in there, I just go submit. It should then create tables in my database and give me this kind of goofy response. All right, Sparky, you've made it through this part of the installation. Now, once we've got this done, basically all we've done at this point is create a bunch of tables within our database. So now I'm going to run the rest of the install, and we're going to do things like give our site a name. So for us, what I want you to do for the site title is to just name it Web 250, And then in this case, use your last name, and name it your last name's WordPress website. Leave the username, again this is the default username, as the admin. And the next step is really, really important because I need to be able to access your website as the admin user. So I want everybody to use the same password, and that is going to be capital P at SSW 0, not O, 0 RD exclamation mark. Capital P at SSW 0 RD exclamation mark. Notice that's actually a strong password. Who would have thunk? You can go ahead and use your email account that you use for your standard email traffic. So I'm going to use my Wake Tech. I'm going to go ahead and allow search engines to index the site and then select Install WordPress. And if all goes well and we get our nice little message telling Sparky us that the install has occurred, then we're all done for this week's work technically, although you do have quite a bit of reading to do. So I'm going to log in to verify that my password and username for my admin worked. So I'm going to do admin P, capital P, at SSW 0 RD exclamation mark login. And there we go. We are in. And this is the start of our adventure with WordPress. And this is our administrative dashboard. We'll pick up with this next time. This has been Mike Shore from the Web Technologies Department.